All right, all right. So, hello, I'm Najir Chambers, Big O Belt Media, and I am joined alongside of who? You can introduce yourself.
So my name is Valentina Herszage. I'm an actress from Brazil.
And I am Mariana Bastos. I'm the director of the film Raquel 11.
All right, all right. So Raquel 11, and because that's the correct Portuguese way to pronounce that, correct?
Yeah.
Raquel. Okay, cool, cool, cool. So, folks, for American folks, it does read as Raquel, but the Portuguese way, which this film is it's a Brazilian film spoken in Portuguese, is Raquel 11. First off, congratulations on your world premiere of South by Southwest Film Festival. That is absolutely amazing. You are on location right now. Have you been taking it in? What's been the feeling? What's been the energy down there?
Oh, we're so happy, so excited to be showing the movie because it's the first time that the audience, like the public, gets to see it. Actually, it was my first time watching the movie too. So we shoot it in 2019, and I just watched last night. I'm so happy.
Yeah, it was
Awesome.
really amazing. I saw the film like for 1,000 times, but it's completely different when you have an audience for the first time because it's when you feel the baby was born. That was the feeling yesterday, and we had like two screenings, and the rooms were crowded, so it was a very happy moment, a very exciting moment. Yeah.
That is awesome. And again, just congratulations. We come through the pandemic, and my heart, and I'll always make sure I give my flowers to all involved in independent films. During the pandemic, folks wanted to have this moment to show it to the public, but were denied it because of obviously the world being shut down. So I'm very happy that you were able to see it with your fans, with the audience, and really bringing in that energy. Now, I personally myself seen and watched the film 3 times. Because this film first of all, I enjoyed it just for that. The first time I was like, whoa. The second time I had questions. The third time I was like, I need answers to those questions. And plus, I'm still here and I still got more questions because I like a film that challenges you. The film that when you're done watching, you step away from it, and then the gears started to go and you started to wanting to know more. So I want to ask just a simple question from the two of you is what sort of less is the reaction that you want the audience to take upon watching the film? The thing you want them to take away once the credits are rolling?
I think this is a hard question because I like the audience like to think what they want to think. I mean, you just can enjoy the film, and that's good as well. But I think we are like proposing something that you can reflect on faith, religion, and violence against women. So this is the reflection that I wanted the audience to get.
I think I agree with you when you talk about reactions, because I think movies should open discussions and be provocative.
Yeah,
that's why we make it. And so I think the film is very provocative, and there is like this mysterious thing that I think it's very interesting. So you can either think that she's really getting delusional, or if those are like real signs. But the main thing is that it opens discussion and people can like reflect.
Okay. That kind of ties into one of my biggest questions, and sort of one of the things where when I'm investing into a film, I start to get demanding, where I start to say like, I need this, I want this. And I wanted to know, Maria, what was the decision to not visualize some of the scenes that Raquel is having about her mother? Because the audio really draws a lot of graphic thoughts, but how come you didn't decide to go with the idea of the depiction of it, of watching those play out?
Oh well, it's funny because in the first time it wasn't just sounds. We were supposed to shoot flashbacks, and we stopped the film because we hadn't money enough. So we stopped, and then we start editing, and while the producers were trying a little bit more money to shoot those flashbacks. And then I was like experimenting things, new things, and the sound starts to become a very interesting option. So we were like trying things, and I went back to the script and started writing about like a new layer, you know. And then we were testing, and I was like, I don't think we need the flashbacks, and I don't think we need to shoot the flashbacks. I think the sound is more interesting, so I think we should go this way. And that's how the sound became so important.
Okay. I am a big fan of sound mixing, and the fact of those flashback scenes started to make the hair on my arms rise a little bit. And then again, it started to spark a lot of visual ideas for myself, which is why I had to go back and watch it the second time, because the first time I started to close my eyes and started to want to visualize what was happening. And it was, you know, horrendous things are happening, and you can't help but to pour your heart for it. But obviously, because of the sounds, your mind is taking you to it, and it's not something you can easily escape, which, you know, fantastic jobs with the sound mixing in this, because it totally helped you with your budget. You didn't have to actually do it because
we have to be
cover the vibe.
Yeah, we had to be creative, and there is something about this film. It's we are with Raquel all the time and inside her emotions. So it was something that I really talked about with the sound editor, because I told him, oh, okay, we are inside her, so I need to feel what she feels. Yeah. And the sound is very, very important for me to bring this kind of emotion. So the camera is always in her face, and she's thinking about things that happened to her before, and what she was hearing. So it was like it was very important. The sound could bring like emotions that she was feeling, and we tried that, and I think it was a really good job that the sound editor could achieve.
And fantastic job by you, Valentina, because to that point, I love in terms of the cinematography, the focus on your lack of emotions at times, because it does also create another bit of imagination as to what is she actually feeling. We know what you're thinking, but what are you actually feeling? And I think anyone who has taken a focus to their mental health, or any bit of just emotional battles or grievances that they've been dealing with, kind of finds themselves in those same situations where you start to really sit back and reflect and say, like, I actually don't know what I'm feeling. I actually don't know what these thoughts mean. So for you, because that's a very, very thin line, even as you as being a professional, to dwell around, how did you kind of prep yourself for the moments? And ultimately, how did you kind of recoup with yourself after the fact?
Oh, okay. So we had a lot of rehearsals, and we worked a lot taking information from the script to work a lot on this girl's traumas, because that's the line that guides her through the whole movie. But there is this moment where she starts to take pills, right? And that's a moment where you don't feel anything. You know, those pills, they just give you this effect. So it's all like very confusing, but we did a lot of improvising. So a lot of the scenes weren't on the script, and Mari gave me the freedom to create and to tell her, like, oh, I was 21 when I shoot the movie, and the character is around 17. So I could like say, oh, I wouldn't say something like that, or I would laugh at this. And she gave us the freedom to do that. But we went a lot through her traumas and trying to understand her relationship with her father and with her mother. But it's very intense. Like I always get sick after filming hard scenes. It happened to me before, and happens all the time, because we kind of get lost in the character.
Yeah.
But I'm very proud of it. I really like it.
So I think it's time to ask the hard questions now. One of the first reactions I got from this film is that this was sort of a play on religion. And to me, the thoughts were, and you know, by all means, this is my own personal opinions and reflections of it. To me, I think this speaks to a social, a sort of a social, how do I want to kind of say this? There's this social generalization of like what religion is and how do people perceive religion to be. And they hold it to this higher martyr as to like, these are the folks who can't do any wrong. And when we kind of see Raquel comes into this new town, which is supposed to be a loving town, this is the idea. Once anybody asks any questions, they automatically say you're an outsider, which is sometimes the opinion that people get about religion, is that it's always not so much equality, but it's more of an exclusive thing. My question to you two is that when you kind of build a script and you build the character that are going to challenge something that is easily going to be controversial. Anytime you say anything about religion, everybody's feathers get ruffled. What ultimately do you feel was the message behind this? And would you say that any of these things have ever been your experiences in terms of interacting with a hardcore religious person, or I almost want to say cult, but a hardcore religious child of some sorts?
No, I just listening to you now, just occurred to me that our president, because he's a very hardcore religious guy, and he is commanding a big country, very eclectic, lots of different religions.
Yep.
And I think we're suffering a lot from that, right? So we don't know how the movie is going to be received in Brazil, for example. We're very curious about, but the thing is not, our intentions wasn't to like judge the evangelical church. That's not the thing. It's just like, maybe we should rethink about it, because these are new times and we have like different cultures, different religions and people.
And even if you go to the churches, and like if you talk to young girls that are not fundamentalists, they will tell you about this, that they reflect on it. I mean, we are not the first people talking about the feminism inside the evangelical churches. It is already happening, and we are not very religious people, but we went to churches, and when we talked about it with a lot of people, really a lot of people, and we were like in cells, and we lived the experience of it, and the character is also a religious girl, but she's not a fundamentalist. So we wanted, we are not telling, we don't want to tell anything bad about faith, but we want to reflect on it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly the reaction I got from it. And again, there's going to be folks that get that, and then there's going to be folks that says like, oh, and shall I say, there's going to be folks that were like the folks of the town that says like, oh, once you start the question, you're defined, and that's not really acceptance. And I mean, we see this time and time again, where a lot of people don't feel like that's a safe place for them, because the moment you have questions, they look at it as you being kind of more or less defiant and challenging. That's sort of not what it was. So I really sympathize with Raquel throughout the film. Now, there was this whole idea of her potentially having some type of demonic presence with her. And not to spoil the film, but there are a couple of scenes that really makes you challenge whether you believe that or not. Was this also a part of the strategy in terms of the scripts to make you conflicted about, as I like to say in very layman's terms, about judging a book by its cover? Do you actually believe her, or are you actually with her, and are you letting other people's thoughts, you know, dictate your reaction to this person, or are you actually taking this person for what it is? So was this also part of the strategy and shall I say the experience in watching this film, is to kind of see how people may turn or flip on Raquel through her adventure?
I don't think it was we thought about we didn't want anyone to we didn't want to say what was right or wrong.
Okay.
The thing was we wanted to do something that we could we could be with Raquel, and she has some thoughts, and you don't need to agree with her if you don't want to. Maybe you think she's wrong, and that's right. I mean, we're not telling what you have to believe. We are just like bringing thoughts.
My favorite types of film. You wanted to say something, Valentina?
Oh yeah, because one of the things that we found so important, it was to just accept this doubt. If she's really like maybe getting scars, or is that something that's just came out of her head. But the important thing is that she has something to say, and she's trying to say it. So the film is also about that, like this girl discovering new things, new feelings, and trying to say something. She's trying to be heard.
So trying to change the world in a way, you know, like the way she believes. And I think that's important for us because we have, like, Brazil is a very religious country, but also a very violent one.
Yep.
And then we thought it could be interesting to talk about this. I mean, but as she's saying, not like saying like if something is true or it's a lie, or if she, you know, if she's imagining things, or if the things are real. We don't want to say that. I mean, what do you believe? That's the thing.
I can say after my third watch, I've come to the conclusion that everything that she's going through is literally anything supernatural that she's going through is actually really not happening. I think enough trauma would lead anybody to think that these things are kind of happening to them. Scars on your body. I mean, it's literally, I mean, as it may be a literal thing, but that's absolutely a mental thing to have a scar or blemish of some sort because of the things you've been through. And I thought, which I can't talk about and I won't talk about, but I thought the ending itself was almost the solidification as to to my beliefs that anything supernatural is just a thought in the head, because sometimes that's just where your mind takes you, where you go with things, you know. But I think it's a good strategy to not give answers, to let people kind of react and kind of sum up their own conclusions with it, because it's definitely a film, as I'm going to highly promote, that you want to watch numerous times. Now, just for a couple of other questions really quick, Valentina. Now, this is, I believe, your second feature-length film?
That's being released. It's my third.
It's your third. Okay. So now very still young in your career, but obviously trading towards the right direction. I think still currently trading through the right direction. What have you learned through the process of making this film, but ultimately in process of making the film during the pandemic?
Oh, yeah. I love making movies. Like in Brazil, I work with soap operas too. But they take so long to film, and I think movies, you can get like really deep and really crazy. You breathe the film and the character so much. And I think that as time goes by and I like work more, I feel more and more comfortable with the cameras, and I feel like I can relate to them so much better, and then just be more creative and feel more comfortable. And I'm very happy with the characters that I've been like receiving, because they're very like different, but very profound and everything. So I love it. Like, I'm an actress since I was born. I'm just learning more and more things. And shooting, we shot just before the pandemic, like in the end of 2019. But then I did shoot a soap opera in Brazil during the pandemic. So we had all like masks, and we were testing every day.
Yep.
It's so hard, but we need to keep going, right?
Yeah.
You can't stop. You just need to be careful, of course.
Yeah. And thank you, obviously, for that, because again, for some of the darkest times in humanity, you all are still able to provide entertainment for us to enjoy and digest, and thought-provoking, and drive us insane for the last 48 hours, wondering what is this, what's going on, what am I feeling, what am I thinking, and I should bring a little bit of context about something too. Another really thing that, and I think Americans could probably speak to this, at least some Americans could speak to this, is that there is sort of a, should I say, a stereotype about small religious towns, and not only just a stereotype, there is fact to some of this as well too, that they're not safe places. As much as this was like a restart or start over for Raquel and her dad in terms of, you know, kind of putting the past beside them, some of these places that does seem like the most isolated places can actually be some of the most judgy, unsafe, I don't know, racist. I could just throw a bunch of words out there. So I think her
small cities are really conservative.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah, like the big cities are a little bit more progressists. I don't know if it's that how you say, but in the small towns, like people are more conservative, and that's why this story happens in a small city. That's because it's different, and it's a little bit more difficult if you are like trying to challenge things, and if you want to change things. I mean, you probably go through more resistance, you know.
Yeah. And no matter what her decisions would have been, you would have always been an outsider, and that's just the nature of it. The movie could have ended 5 minutes in, like, yeah, we know how this one plays out. So last question for the two of you all. I think you two have amazing chemistry. Maria, I just want to say that, and Valentina first, I should say, I think you are fantastic in the lead-in in this role. Your job really kept me invested the entire time. And Maria, I obviously got to say that positioning her to shine in the way she did really makes you two a formidable team. Can I just like throw an ideal out there? Any chances you two want to do anything more, either with this story or something else in the future?
Well, we don't know, but definitely I want to work with her again, because she's like she's terrific, and I wanted to be with me always. But I don't know. We don't know about this story. Maybe we have like many stories to tell, right? I mean, this one is already told, so let's see what we have to. I don't know. Let's see what we want to talk about again, right? Yeah. Like if you like with the next year, maybe we want to talk about other things. I mean, this story is important for me at this moment, and then I don't know. And next year, what will be the story that will be important for me? I don't know.
I see. So it's one of those
that doesn't want to work with me again.
No, I want to work with her. I want to sign a contract with her. With her and our producers, we're like a team. We want to do films all the time.
Listen, I love it. I'll sign up for it. And Maria, I think that's an amazing answer. And what it sounds to me is that you let the project speak to you. And then when you get that feeling, when you get that message, then you put the pen on paper, and then magic comes to life. So, and at least you know you got your first person that's always willing to step into any role. So casting won't be such an issue for you. So again, folks, and again, congratulations to you two on your world premiere. This is a fantastic accolade. South by Southwest is one of the biggest film festivals in all over the world, and you had your movie make its premiere. So I'm looking to see you back. I know it's a high expectation, but I know you can do it. I'm looking to see you back next year at South by Southwest, which I will be in person. You know, hopefully the plague doesn't want to come back. But it'll be amazing to meet you two in person. And this was a fantastic film.
Yeah, we hope to get back more.
Yeah,
we're loving the festival. It's amazing.
And maybe we'll be here next year, the next years.
Put it in the air.
And make personal,
yeah.
Well, folks, check it out. Definitely show your support. Keep your eyes on them. There is one major obstacle in terms of independent films, and that's distribution. So you got to put your support out there so that this film can be picked up. It could be on your local streaming service, and you can check it out, or maybe it's the big screen. Who knows? Now the pandemic is so crazy, you just never know what's going to happen. But you can do one thing, and that's support the two of them and their release of this film. Show your interest, show your love, give them follows on social media, and you're part of the team as well, making these things happen. So, but it's been a pleasure to talk to you too. And thank you everybody for tuning in for the interview. We'll see you around very soon for much more.
Big gold bell.